ways in the gospel. The good news, the new creation. And one of the ways it works differently is in terms of what our call to service and ministry is about. The world oftentimes works with the attitude that after me, you come first. They'll say, Dorothy would say, after me, you come first. But it's true, there is that sense that the elite, rise to the top of the heap and everybody else has to conform, both politically and economically. Even in churches, to some extent, you see that among the way the community oftentimes is organized and structured. There's a hierarchy, and then there's a lowarchy, which is everybody else. Well, and there's some reason for that. It provides a certain amount of order and all that other stuff that's important. And even in the reading from the Old Testament, which we have today, there was Moses, there was Aaron, and everybody else. But when we start thinking about this call, it's on a different process. Human beings tend to evaluate things based on performance and based on a certain set of requirements. To get our master's degree or a bachelor's degree, you have to conform to the expectations of the institution. Graduate from high school or grade school's the same. And so those things matter to us because they are also markers of transitions from one thing to the next. And those are important things. We're going to have a transition here from 20 years of being in the ministry, okay? And that's coming up in a few weeks. That's a recognition, but also a transition. Because we have, what are we going to do with the next 20 years, right? How are we going to manage all the ministries that we're doing now? And actually, we may even develop new ones. Because God's like that. God's always moving in new directions. And the possibilities are endless. So grace is based on a different set of patterns, if you will. Grace is a calling. And I love the reading today because it says they were sitting around idle. Idle means we don't know what we're doing. We don't know what we're supposed to be doing here. We're just waiting. Doesn't mean we're even engaged. We're kind of, you ever notice a lot of times people laying around idle doing something, not doing much, tend to build relationships among the people who are just like them, but they're not out there producing anything. They're not out there and doing something in the world. And the landowner says, I've got a plan for you. I've got a calling for you. Are you willing to serve? And they go, sure, we're willing to work. Yeah. And out they go. And I've had that experience with myself. And in terms of ministry over the years, the first call that you have from the Lord is, are you willing to serve? It doesn't oftentimes come like a direct bolt of lightning into your subconscious or to your conscious mind, but it's a growing, nurturing kind of experience. It begins oftentimes in our very real families and the people that we live and know, and we begin to work at caring for them and all of those other kinds of things, nurturing our children when they're little and taking care of them. And then we become in touch with how God cares for me. And He invites us, you and I, into this new life, if you will, of service. And it doesn't make us any better than anybody else. Now, in my case, and for all of you, really, we are prepared for this. We are trained. And training means a commitment to service. Even though you may not have arrived, you anticipate the day when you will. And once you get to where your goals are, it doesn't mean that it's over. It oftentimes means it's just beginning, because there's a lot more to learn than what you've learned before you've had the experience itself. Growth is like that.